After going 9-31, your Dallas Wings have been very active so far in the offseason period, including securing the #1 draft pick for this upcoming draft. Now we're going to talk about what moves you will make, who would you hire as a head coach, and etc. right here on the Dallas Wings Update, brought to you by dopecontent.com. Let's get right into it. Yep. Welcome back to another episode of the Dope. Oh, I almost said Dope Content Podcast. Hold on, let me change that. Welcome back to another episode of the Dallas Wings Update, brought to you by dopecontent.com. I am your host, Kevin Lewis, however you know me, Dope Content, however you know me, this is me, I am here. We are here to talk some WNBA, specifically your Dallas Wings. Now, once again, Dallas Wings went 9-31, missing the playoffs for the first time since 2020. And first thing they did was let go of head coach Latricia Trammell, and kind of got mixed feelings about it. You know, it's a weird situation, right? Because her first year here, last year, they won the most games they ever won as the Dallas Wings organization. We're not going to talk about Tulsa and all that. We're just talking about strictly Dallas Wings. They won the most games, the most regular season games that they've won since being in Dallas. And then they win the most playoff games they won since being in Dallas, right? And then, so, you know, everything is good. Coming into this year, I did a video saying who they should try to go after in free agency to try to build on that roster, and they just didn't do it at all. And then they end up having injuries, right? Had a lot of injuries. Satou was hurt. Natasha was hurt. I mean, Jaylen Brown got hurt. She missed majority of the season after balling in the preseason. So it was a lot of questionable decisions. You brought in Odyssey. You got rid of Odyssey. Monique, you brought in Monique. She balled. You got rid of Monique Billings, and it just didn't make sense. So, you know, they come in after having their most successful year as Dallas Wings. They turn around and have probably their worst season ever as the Dallas Wings. Once again, missing the playoffs for the first time since 2020. The only team worse than them were the LA Sparks, who had a lot of injuries themselves and a whole bunch of, you know, rookies. And they're a rebuilding team, which is kind of crazy that they got rid of Kurt Miller, which we're going to get into later. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And then Dallas is on their 6th coach in 7 years. So they are running through coaches like crazy. So I'm gonna need them to find a coach, and they're gonna have to stick with a coach. You can't keep giving your star players a different coach every single year. You can't keep doing it and expect them to either keep re-signing contracts and dealing with it, or expect them to win a championship, build a continuity to win a championship. So kind of mixed feelings about Coach Trammell. You know, I absolutely love her as a person. She was always cool to the media. She was always showing love to us, talking with us before and after the games. You know, always nice. The players loved her. Everything was cool about her. My only issue with her, and it wasn't just me, it's a couple of other media members, because we all saw the same thing, is she didn't utilize her bench enough, in my opinion. Like, you have your top four players playing and averaging 36 to 38 minutes a game. The game is only 40 minutes. Like, why are we playing our star players to death, basically? Like, Enrique has played 40 minutes in multiple games. Satou, coming off the injury, averaging 36 to 37 minutes a game. Natasha, who is a veteran, she's been in the league, you know, she's an older player. She's been in the league for 12 years, and she played nonstop between WNBA and overseas. She's coming back averaging 37 minutes a game. And then we wonder why all these close games that we were in, that when the fourth quarter came around, especially the last 5 minutes, the shots start coming up short. The defensive rotation ain't the same. Like, everybody can see it. So, like, why are you not using your bench more, especially last year? When you had multiple guards that could play. Crystal Dangerfield could play. Veronica Burton can play. Odyssey Sims could play. And then you had Enrique on top of that. So why is Enrique playing 38 minutes a game? Like it just didn't make sense to me. That's just me personally. That was my only issue with Coach, is that you didn't utilize your rotation and you didn't utilize your bench. Now I understand this year you had injuries, but when everybody got healthy, nothing really changed. Like nothing really changed. They didn't improve. Nothing really changed. It was the same thing the whole year. So that's my only issue with Coach Trammell, but we absolutely love Coach Trammell. Shout out to her and everything that she got going and anything she got coming up. So much love to Coach Trammell. Now, I guess we'll keep it with the front office, right? So let's go ahead and announce what's been going on if you haven't caught on yet or you missed it by any reason. Curt Miller, former coach of the LA Sparks last year, was fired after I don't understand. They went 8-32. I get that, but they are a rebuilding team in LA, right? You bring in all these rookies, and one of your main rookies got hurt. Your number one rookie got hurt. She was out for the whole season. Cameron Brink was gone. Lexi Brown was gone. What's her name? Ari McDonald was gone. And you're a rebuilding team. So you got rid of Curt Miller, which I appreciate now because we're in Dallas, but it was a head scratcher. Curt Miller becomes the new general manager right here in Dallas. Yeah. And this man has success as a WNBA executive, right? He's a 2-time executive of the year with Connecticut. And he was also the coach in Connecticut while he was the executive out there in Connecticut. They went to multiple WNBA finals. They didn't win, but he has, a proven record as a GM and as a coach. So shout out to Curt Miller and welcome to Dallas. Travis Charles, he gets promoted. He's been with the team for 11 years. So this goes all the way back to the Tulsa days. Travis Charles is now the senior vice president, and he is the assistant general manager as well. So he moves from VP to senior VP. So shout out to Travis Charles. Yeah. Jasmine Thomas, she is now the assistant general manager, and she's now the vice president. And she is a former player who played 7 years under Curt Miller. So they have a rapport together. So that's a good thing right there, right? And she's a 5-time WNBA all-defensive team player as well. And I believe her role, from what my understanding is, her role will be more closely, with the player development. So she's going to be doing more of the, GM the player type things, the development, the branding, and stuff for on and off the court for the players. So shout out to Jasmine Thomas as well. Yeah. Getting her promotion. Moving on, once again, they went 9-30-31. It was not a good year. I said personally all year that I felt like Satou and Natasha Howard were going to be the two players that left in free agency. With Flash deciding to leave as early as she did, like immediately after the season, I am now nervous about Satou Sabally. The fact that I was right about Flash, I'm nervous about Satou because I said about Satou, I felt that she was going to be the one that leave out of the two. I felt more strongly about her leaving than Flash, and Flash is already gone. So now I'm nervous, right? I'm nervous about Satou staying. Now maybe getting the first overall draft pick and making these changes with the GMs and etc., head coaching changes, maybe that'll change things for Satou. But I'm still nervous. I can't lie. Whatever Satou wants, Dallas, you need to give it to her. Whatever she asks for, give it to her. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. 26 years old, just now entering her prime, multiple time All-Star. Her and Enrique, they've been building this culture here. You got whatever Satou asks for, you got to give it to her. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm sorry. Right? Now let's get into actually before we get into the draft, let's keep it front office and business. Dallas Wings also announced that they have already sold out their 2025 season tickets. So shout out to them, right? Did it in record time. I believe 4.5 months earlier than what they did last year. So right after securing the first overall draft pick, they announced that they already sold out the 2025. Now this is a big thing because this is the last year in Arlington at the park, because they will be moving to downtown Dallas. I believe it's the Curtis Caldwell Center downtown that they're remodeling and rebuilding for the Dallas Wings. So in 2026, they will be in Dallas. They won't be in Arlington at the park anymore. So that could be one reason why, you know, the loyal fans here in Dallas made sure to lock up those tickets. But the other reason is they got the first overall draft pick. And instantly everybody is like, oh, first overall draft pick. You know what that means. That means Paige Bueckers is coming to Dallas.
Yeah.
Listen, I will absolutely love it. It's no guarantee. It's a strong possibility, but it's no guarantee. Paige could decide to go back to college. She could decide she don't want to come to Dallas. But if you do get Paige, you're getting a 6-foot guard that's averaging 20 points right now, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, shooting 60.4% from the field.
Yeah.
She will immediately fix your biggest gap on the roster. She will immediately fix your biggest hole on the roster, which is point guard. So if Paige is coming out, you absolutely have to take her. And she has a great following and a great fan base, which Dallas really, as you see, Dallas really don't need help getting fans. But her fan base is up there. Like, it's up there. It's not quite Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but it's like right there under them, right? So if Paige comes to Dallas, she fixes a lot of things on and off the court. And I would absolutely love if she did decide to come to Dallas, right? Now, let's say for whatever reason, Paige decides not to come to Dallas. What do you do? What do you do if Paige decides not to come to Dallas for whatever reason? She goes back to college or she does whatever. It's only 2 other players I would take #1 overall right now for the Dallas Wings. If Paige decides not to come, who do you go after next? My first player is Olivia Miles, guard from Notre Dame. Because once again, your biggest hole on your roster is point guard play. Olivia Miles is elite. Now, she's only 5'10" versus 6 feet, you know, with Paige, but 18.3 points a game, 7 assists a game. They just put on a show out there against USC. Olivia Miles is the truth. She's the truth. And once again, she fixed your biggest hole on your roster. Now, if you don't go after Olivia Miles and Paige decides to stay, your last option, in my opinion, is Kiki Irifan from USC. 6'3" forward. She fixes the hole that's left by Natasha Howard, because you got to replace Natasha Howard. And God forbid Satou leaves, you really gonna have to, you know, replace your forward position. So 6'3" forward, USC, 17.3 points a game, 7.5 rebounds a game, a nice jump shot. She's physical. She fixes a hole. So if you're not getting Paige, those are the only 2 players you need to be looking at. Those are the only 2 players you need to be looking after. But do everything you can to get Paige. Do everything you can to keep Satou. Now let's get into some free agents. Let me pull up my phone because I had to write this down. Actually, I'll take this back. Before we get into free agents, head coaching jobs, it's still open here in Dallas. From Yahoo.com, from what I saw this morning, the top 3 candidates that's been thrown out is Christy Sides, former coach from Indiana Fever. She went 20-20 last year, who I absolutely would love here, actually. I know Caitlin Clark fans, I'm not even going to say Indiana fans. Caitlin Clark fans really talked bad about this lady after the first week, and they did it the whole season. Christy Sides is a good coach. I would absolutely love to have her here. So if she's still available and they can work something out, bring her here. The next one is Teresa Witherspoon, who got fired after going 13-27 with the Chicago Sky, which makes no sense because the Chicago Sky is a rebuilding team as well. And then not only that, they were in playoff position to make the playoffs. You traded away their best shooter, Marina Mabry. So how do you turn around and fire a coach for barely missing the playoffs when you traded away their best shooter? And it's a rebuilding team. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. And then they weren't even healthy the whole year. Diamond Shields was out for a while. Isabella Harris, she was out for a while. Cardosa, Camellia, she missed a couple of games as well to start the season. Like, what are we doing here in Chicago? I don't understand what Chicago got going on, because the players absolutely love Coach Witherspoon. So if she's available, those are my top two options right there. Christy Size and Teresa Witherspoon. Then I've seen Tanisha Wright, former head coach from the Atlanta Dream. I got mixed feelings about her, right? I love the vibes and the straightforwardness that comes with her, and she did start to build a culture down there in Atlanta. But just going off of the Atlanta Dreams media members and some of their fans, it seems like she let things get too personal with her. Like I saw a lot of things that said certain players didn't get to play that should be playing because she had a personal issue with them. So this is from some of the media members I know in Atlanta that was doing, some of their basketball games. And this is from some of the fans I've seen on Twitch. I'm sorry, not Twitch, Twitter. So if that's the case, then I don't want no parts of that here. You can't get personal attitudes and be benching players that should be playing because you got some type of beef with them. So we can't do that. So in order, I will probably do it Christy Size, Teresa Witherspoon, and then if you can't get none of them, then you go out to Tanisha Wright. Right? But I think Christy Size got a bad rep from Caitlin Clark fans this year. And I think she's a better coach than what people think she is. So I wouldn't mind at all if Christy was here. Now, let's get into free agents. Unrestricted free agency. We're going to talk about realistic opportunities and unrealistic opportunities, right? These are the people I will personally give a call to, knowing what we know. First off, let's give you the salary cap. 2025 salary cap right now for the Dallas Wings is going to start off at $611,000. You already got Enrique signed. She's hitting your cap for $249,000. Tiara McCowan is hitting your cap for $201,000. Kalani Brown is $128,000. Maddie Seegers is $83,000. Lou Lopez $79,000. Stephanie Soares $78,000. JC Sheldon $74,000. Immediately after looking at that, I would trade Tiara McCowan. Bruh. You either trade Tiara or you trade Kalani. They can't be on the same team anymore. I love both of them. I love both of them. I love both of them. But when you're matching up against these teams like Vegas, you're matching up against Seattle and all them, these bigs are just running around you. They can't move their feet to keep up with like the Asia Wilsons and the Nneka Ogwumike's and all them. They can't do it. Just simple as that. They can't do it. And it's always a matchup problem when we're going up against these athletic bigs that can run up and down the floor. Like, because Kalani and Tiara is not running up and down the floor like they are. So you can keep one because it's good to have that size and the power that they bring and the inside presence. But I don't think you need two, personally. And honestly, the reason I said Tiara is because Tiara, you can get more value back from her, and she's making more. So you clear up the cap space some more to be able to go after these unrestricted free agents as well if you decide to keep Kalani versus Tiara. That's just me. I love them both. Nothing personal. Love them both. But I think I've seen enough with them two being on the same team in the last 2 years. I've seen enough. Keep one, don't keep both. That's just me personally. And Kalani, depending on how they do this expansion draft, I don't know if Kalani is going to be protected or not. Right now, ESPN is predicting that the protected players is Tiara, Enrique, Satou if they re-sign her, JC Sheldon. A lot of X's coming out of that. JC Sheldon and Maddie Seegers. And then they said Kalani can be protected, but right now they don't have her as the protected player. So that's ESPN's prediction right now that I'm looking at. So we'll see. We'll see. I personally wouldn't keep both. I personally would not keep both. But if you do, I wouldn't be mad at it either. I mean, especially with new coaching. Maybe a new coach can figure out how to utilize both of them the way they should be utilized. But just based off the last two, I wouldn't keep both. So now who would I call personally? Free agents. Some of these are gonna be realistic, some of these are gonna be unrealistic. I'm gonna give you the realistic ones first. Aerial Powers, I would definitely give her a call. She can come in, she can replace that wing gap that's being left by Natasha Howard leaving. Gabby Williams, that's another one. Killed it in the Olympics, came to Seattle, had, finished off the season pretty strong. Gabby Williams is somebody. Awak Kuyer, you got to see if she's coming back or not, because she's balling overseas right now. And she started balling at the end of last season before she decided to take a year off from the WNBA. So you got to give her a call and see if she's even going to come back, right? Kelsey Mitchell, this is a little unrealistic because of the money she's making. She's making over $200,000 a year herself. And then after the year she had, I don't know if she will come in and want to come off the bench, right? Because if she comes in and let's say the Dallas Wings get, if they get Paige, Paige and Arika is going to be your starting guards. So that means Kelsey's going to have to come off the bench. I don't know if she's going to do that, right? Nneka Ogwumike. I wanted Nneka last year. I got a video. If you don't believe me, go watch the video from last offseason. I wanted them to call Nneka last year. They didn't, of course. She's available again, unrestricted. Give her a call. I'm just saying. Odyssey Sims. Why is Odyssey Sims not on the roster to begin with? She loves it in Dallas. Her family's in Dallas. She comes to all the home games when she's not on anybody's roster. She showed you she could ball against you and with you, because when she came back in that LA game, she destroyed Dallas. And then she showed with Dallas that she could play with this team. I just don't understand. Stop giving her that hardship contract. Give her a real contract and put her on the roster. Monique Billings, I will give her another call. Put her on the roster. Right? Now get to some unrealistic ones. I already kind of said, Kelsey Mitchell. That's a little unrealistic, but they could probably work some things out. We'll see. Alyssa Thomas, Brianna Jones from Connecticut. Both free agents, both 2 stars. Only reason I'm throwing their names out is because of their history with Curt Miller. Again, Curt Miller is a 2-time executive of the year, been in multiple WNBA finals as a head coach and an executive. That was with Connecticut. That was with Alyssa, and that was with Brianna. Brianna might retire. I don't know. But it won't hurt to give them a call. Curt Miller is the GM. Curt Miller has history with them. It's unrealistic, but it won't hurt to give them a call. Now, as far as restricted free agents, you got Dejanay Carrington. I don't think Connecticut is going to let her go. You got Kennedy Carter. I don't think Chicago is going to let her go. Brittany Griner is an unrestricted free agent. I don't think Brittany is going anywhere. Deanna Taurasi, if she does play again, she's not going anywhere. So it's it's some names out there. It's some other names out there too. But the ones I would call are the ones I just listed. Aerial Powers, Gabby Williams, Awak Kuyer. I would call Kelsey Mitchell just to see, just see what we can work out with her. Nneka Ogwumike, Odyssey Sims, that's a given to me. I just put Odyssey Sims on the roster right now, no matter who they draft and yada yada. Monique Billings, right? Call her back. And I will call Alyssa Thomas, and I will call Brianna Jones. That's me. Let me know who you would call in the comment section.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all for joining. I kind of sped through all this because I want to keep this video as short as possible, under 30 minutes. So and it's a lot of information. So I kind of wanted to put it all together and just kind of, speed through this. So if I'm talking fast, I apologize. If I'm going through all these topics fast, I apologize. If I missed anything, I apologize. I just want to go through this as quickly as possible, give my 2 cents on everything that's happened so far and everything that could happen. I feel like Dallas is going to find a way to have a great season next year. They're going to have a solid roster. I'm more confident now because we have a new GM and all that stuff versus what we had last year. It was absolutely ridiculous what they did last year. It was almost Jerry Jones. Like what Jerry Jones is doing right now is what the Dallas Wings did this year. Just sitting back and, oh, we had a successful season. Let's just sit back and not add to it. That's not the mentality you should have. You should try to build on your successful seasons and move forward to get to that next level. Not just sit back and, oh, we cool. Let's just draft and go and sit back and do nothing else. That's just stupid. So I'm glad they got a new GM. We'll find out who the head coach is pretty soon, hopefully. And then Satou, the first things first, Satou needs to be re-signed. That should be the next two breaking news things from the Dallas Wings. Head coach, new head coach signed, Satou signed. And then we talk about everything. We worry about everything else after that. But once again, appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining. And until next time, man, like, subscribe, comment, and y'all be safe. I'm out.